Kia ora and welcome to Canterbury Live. It is the 3rd of July. Have you had a look at the Southern Alps? They look beautiful, snow-capped, gorgeous, just great for the skis for this weekend. Well, today is a very special birthday for one very talented actor and producer, Tom Cruise. There he is. He's 52 today. He's been nominated for 3 Academy Awards and has won 3 Golden Globes. He's been in too many movies to mention. Some great quotes though that have come out of his movies, like Top Gun, I feel the need for speed. It's a good one. Jerry Maguire, you complete me. The ladies love that one. Cocktail, the bar is open. And how about Mission Impossible? We just rolled up a snowball and threw it into hell. Now we'll see if it has a chance. But I bet you remember this one.
Show me the money! I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money! You love this black man! I love black people! I love black people! What you gonna do, Jerry? Show me the money!
Congratulations, you're still my agent.
That's a great line. I bet we've all used it at some point, show me the money. Well, on this day in 1971, the lead singer of The Doors, Jim Morrison, passed away. So much has been written and speculated upon surrounding Morrison's life and death. He was found by his wife, Pamela. She was the first to discover the body in the bathroom, where he lay in the bathtub naked and half submerged. Officially, his death was listed as a heart failure, but before heading to Paris, his doctor reported him to be in excellent health. There is those that believe that he faked his own death and he's living somewhere in the world. There's his gravestone. It is one of the most visited landmarks in Paris. I've been there myself. And tell you what, it did actually top the Eiffel Tower. A very cool dude indeed. Well, coming up on today's show, we head out on location to Holly Lee Retirement Home. We find out more about glaucoma and we have a little snippet of the episode of Loose Lips that's airing tonight at 8:30. But first, I'm joined by a gentleman who, along with his team, are part of the whole Dry July, a great cause for cancer, and apart from laying off the alcohol for the month, I'm joined by the Director of Radiation Oncology, Ian Ward. Welcome, Dr. Ward. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well, thank you. Yes.
3rd day in. How has it been?
Oh well, it's been great. Yes. I don't drink that frequently myself.
Right. Okay.
But
okay.
I've still joined, gone on the wagon and sworn off alcohol for the next month, and we've got I think about 5,500 Kiwis who are joining in this month so far, and the numbers are still increasing.
Great. So tell us, what is Dry July? Let's get back to basics. What is it all about?
Dry July is when people say they won't have any alcohol for the month, and they sign up at the Dry July website, which is nzdryjuly.com, and then they tell all their friends about it and their colleagues, who can go online and sponsor them. And so far, I think even in these, we're only 3 days into July, aren't we? And
yeah.
So far, throughout the country, there's already about $200,000 have been raised.
Wow.
50,000 for the Canterbury Regional Cancer Centre. And that money is going to go not to pay for cancer treatments, but to make cancer patients more comfortable, make it less stressful for them when they're having their treatment.
So support services then?
That's right, yes, because with the public health system, we pride ourselves that we have a good public health system and that we can provide people with the best treatments. Right. And it's always the emphasis is that to give people the best treatment. And whenever you have a choice about, well, do you spend the public money on a treatment that's going to give you a better chance of cure or reduce side effects, or do you do something to make things a little bit more comfortable for patients? Always the treatment's going to have the edge.
Exactly.
And so what's really good about this is that we can provide funds for making things a bit easier for people.
Wonderful.
So we've done things like providing iPads for people having chemotherapy, so they can sit there when they're... Some people have to sit there for hours having intravenous chemotherapy, and it can get pretty boring.
Yeah.
And you can read magazines and so on, but there's only so many magazines you can read when you're having chemotherapy week after week or month after month. And so they can watch movies, listen to their favourite music, play games.
Yeah.
So
it's, that's great. So it's giving those tools to make the time, I suppose, go a lot faster, and as you said, comfort. And I suppose dignity as well. Ian,
Yes.
as well?
Yes, that's right. Yes, it's all these intangible things which are really important to people, and we need to make sure we don't forget. But sometimes when we're just concentrating so much on the treatment, we sometimes can put less emphasis on them.
Yeah, exactly. Apart from the fundraising, there must be some benefits, surely, for going without alcohol for a month.
Oh, yes. So the emphasis is on people with cancer. But, yes, the people who participate are benefiting too. I mean, it makes you reevaluate your own lifestyle a bit. Certainly, I mean, we all know that alcohol can cause harm and that Kiwis do drink too much generally. But even people who drink moderate amounts, many of them find that their sleep is affected. So if you have more energy, if you get better night's sleep, you can save money and donate it to Dry July. But it also can make you realise how much money you're spending on alcohol.
Yeah.
And there are, of course, long-term benefits from making sure that you don't overindulge in alcohol. The benefits on, some cancers are more common in people who have too much alcohol, but also its benefits your social life, relationships. There are a whole lot of things, a whole lot of benefits.
New Zealand, we are big drinkers,
We are.
aren't we? So this is quite a big thing to put it out there for Dry July. What's the feedback been like? 'Cause this is rather a new charity, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It started in Australia a few years ago and came to New Zealand 3 years ago now. And we in Christchurch have been participating in it last year and this year. Yes, we've had a lot of people getting on board. It's been really, it's really caused quite a stir. We've just recorded our own theme song for Dry July. One of our haematologists, one of our blood specialists.
Please go ahead.
I wish, but you can listen to it. I think we've got the website. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
And Q.
I guess that means you just look like yourself.
Oh, very cool.
This is Sean McPherson, who's a haematologist who wrote this and is singing it, and we've got a whole lot of employees of the Canterbury District Health Board and also patients and former patients who've taken part in this recording, and you can download it for a small donation and have your own copy.
Okay, but we can find out about it at nzdryjuly.com?
Yes, you can. There's I'm not sure whether the link is up yet, but we'll make sure that there is
I'm sure
one.
we'll better find something. Thank you so much, Dr. Ward. I appreciate it, and good luck for the rest of July.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Stay with us after the break. We're out on location to Holly Lee.
Dry July. Won't you raise an empty glass?
Meet the people behind the biggest political stories and scandals of recent times and discover a different perspective. People in Politics. Monday afternoon at 1:30, CTV.
We all know the best thing you can do for your body is eat fresh foods in their natural state. The same applies to your skincare. Southern Skin provides a skincare range with fresh, locally sourced ingredients, plus natural preservatives and emulsifiers to produce the best nourishment for your skin to unleash your healthiest complexion. New Zealand olive and aloe skincare for young or old, men, women and children. There is a product in the Southern Skin range for you. southernskin.co.nz.
Located at the foot of the Port Hills, Berrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make your dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Berrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Berrymead Golf, 50 Berrymead Park Drive, right next to the Berrymead Heritage Park.
If you're looking for a great quality car, look no further than Wheeler Motor Company. Based in Christchurch, they are known for their exceptional service and great value over 30 years. With around 150 cars to choose from, you can rest easy that Wheeler Motor Company will find the perfect car to suit your needs. So drop in and see Nick Wheeler and the team at 171 Morehouse Ave, or jump online at wheelermotors.co.nz.
Red and Black Sports Match of the Day in the Press Cup this week. It's on our screen, Sunday 12:30, 5:30 replay on the day, and 7 o'clock next Thursday night. Catch the match.
Hi, Rob Coate-Williams. Join me with Rob's Country every Friday at 7:30 in the evening when I take you out of town and talk about anything this country.
Rob's Country, Friday at 7:30.
Kia ora, welcome back to Canterbury Live. Now you may be looking at, or your family may be looking at, an option of a retirement home. We have the perfect option for you. It's Holly, and today we meet Jeff Tiley Porter, who's taking us through the past, the present and the future for Holly Lee.
Well, the site we're standing on is at 123 Fennelton Road, and it was purchased by the Maclean Institute in 1909. It was originally 5 acres, it's now 3 because some got sold off, and it was purchased for £5,142 from the Russell family with the mansion and with the furniture inside. Good money at the time, but good to own it now. When Alan Maclean died, he had left an estate for the care of women, and to manage his estate he set up the Maclean Institute, and it's governed by people by their office in Christchurch. It's the Mayor of Christchurch, the Mayor of Selwyn, the Catholic Bishop, the Anglican Bishop, the Chancellor of the University. There's quite a few people holding important roles that manage his estate. Now their role was to provide a home for women. The problem was that the home of Maclean, the Maclean mansion that Alan Maclean had intended to be his home, he left his housekeeper a life interest. So she was in there, so the Institute had to set about finding somewhere else to carry out his wishes, and so they bought this site from the Russell family. Now when they bought the site, some of the board members weren't very keen on that because it was out in the country at that time, and the tram that was the public transport stopped at the railway line at Straven Road and didn't come any further. And so, but they did purchase it, and here we are 100 years later, and we still own the site. And it's gone through quite a few changes in the time, and by no small means what's happening at the moment. Originally, the Institute bought as I said, the original home from the Russell family, and it was a weatherboard bay villa, I suppose. They immediately added to it with a brick addition. That was in 1910, and they housed 16 women in need at that time. Nothing changed from that until the 1950s, and in 1956 they added 3 more wings, and in 1966 they added another wing, and so they could house up to 51 people on the site. So that was original purchase, original development. 50 years later, a major change, and now we are 50 years later and we're doing the next major change. It seems to be in 50-year cycles. When we decided to update the building, or there was actually a need to it, in the 1950s when the wings were built, they were state-of-the-art at the time, but in the 2000s it's not appropriate to have your bathroom down the hall and share it with everybody else, so we had to bring the whole place up to date. So we knocked over all the old buildings in stages and built the new lodge here, and the lodge holds 38 separate apartments, has an underground car park, and people can live fully independently or get whatever care they need in those apartments. For the future, we're going to build some villas. Normally a retirement village builds it the other way around. They build the villas first, but we had existing residents, so we had to build a main building for them. But we're going to build the villas next, and there's 8 going to be built, and there's going to be initially 2, which we call in the Waimari corner next to the Waimari stream. Then we'll probably build 2 more in Tui Street, which will be smaller, and they're next to the Fennelton mainstream. And then we're going to build 4 more on the ground that we're standing on. And that's also has a Tui Street address. When I came on board, I was a little bit disappointed to learn that a previous board had sold off quite a bit of the land, and that's Quamby Place. And those sections sold in the 1980s. I had a look in the newspaper at the time. The largest price for any section sold in Christchurch at that point, you could buy a section in the heart of Fennelton for $85,000. But so we've compensated for that because we've bought adjoining properties now, number 9 Tui Street, number 11, number 17, and we've bought number 8 Heathfield Avenue. So we've enlarged the site back to probably where it was. it was really exciting doing the main building. That took 3 years, but doing any development's exciting, and there's a lot of things that you don't foresee that come along and get you, but building new buildings and then getting people interested and then getting some more people come onto the site, growing site, very exciting.
What a wonderful place to grow old. Now, after the break, we find out more about glaucoma.
Tomorrow Today is your science program, presenting a comprehensive overview of the latest trends in science and research. Tomorrow Today, Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m, right here on CTV.
Dowson's massive winter sale. Thousands of prices slashed. Elegant Mary Jane casuals, only $25. These detailed dress heels, great price, $39.95. And warm lined women's boots, price to clear, $59.95. View our shop locations and products at dowsons.co.nz.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself. A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road. The Hitching Post, defining art our way.
Our friends and family celebrate and live their lives in all sorts of ways. So it's always hard and sad with the passing of a loved one. We at Palmer Funerals know and understand this, and we believe that their life should still be celebrated even when they have gone. With our newly built chapel, we can help tailor-make a funeral which is unique and personal to you, and help celebrate their life while making your difficult time easier. Palmer Funeral Services. Tailor-made funerals.
Have you seen something you like? You can purchase a copy of CTV's own shows so you can watch them again and again. So give us a call on 3777 033 and order a copy today.
Europe in Concert. A new, fantastic international artist performing every week. Saturday evening at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Welcome back. I'm now joined by Dr. Alan Simpson. Welcome to Canterbury Live, Dr. Simpson. How are you today?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. And we're here to talk about glaucoma. And for those of us that may not know exactly what that is, can you explain to us?
Well, it's a disease of the eye that affects the optic nerve at the back of the eye, causes typical structural changes and consequently visual field loss. So you lose peripheral vision from your eye. Gradually and insidiously and relentlessly over a long period of time if it's not picked up. And if you think of the optic nerve as being the connection between a digital camera and a computer, and there's 1 million nerve fibres in that optic nerve you're born with, gradually in this condition, glaucoma, they drop out and you lose more and more of them, and your visual field and your vision suffers as a result of that transmission defect that the optic nerve damage causes.
That's a great way to describe it, really. Why do they call it the silent thief of sight?
Because it creeps up on people without them realising it's happening. There's no real symptoms, there's no pain, and until quite late in the disease process, when you might notice half your visual field is missing, people might not know they've got it. They've still got good central vision, so they don't realise when they do a Snellen chart, a visual acuity letters test, that there's anything wrong with the vision, because it's peripheral vision, roundabout vision that's affected first. Later on, central vision can be, but often half of it's gone in one eye and then the second eye starting as well before people know it's happening.
So is it really only at the point where maybe they're going in for a checkup or getting a new pair of glasses that it could be detected?
Certainly. In fact, that is the prime time to have it picked up. When typically we all need reading glasses at the age of about 45. And that is a good time to get a checkup, because that's when glaucoma really starts happening. If it's going to happen, it'll be after age 45, and you don't want to miss that opportunity of having an eye checkup as well when you get your glasses.
Do you need to go to a specialist, or can you go to like your normal
You should
person?
You should go to an optometrist for that
Yeah.
indication. And optometrists are very good at screening for and looking for glaucoma and picking it up and referring on when necessary. So certainly the optometrist is the person to see for those spectacle requirements and also that screening for eye disease, including glaucoma.
How are we faring in New Zealand then for glaucoma?
No better or worse than other developed countries. We do have about 68,000 people with glaucoma is the calculated number in New Zealand over the age of 45. And the problem, of course, is that maybe half of those people don't know they've got it. So we would like to know about those people and pick it up and start treatment.
In a perfect world, would you love it that it was actually free testing?
Yes and no. It doesn't stack up as a population-based screening test because the diagnosis requires too many tests. It's not a simple yes-no kind of answer you can get from that. And the cost effectivity of screening populations just isn't there. So we really do rely on things like this Glaucoma Awareness Month and people knowing about glaucoma and hearing about it from family and friends particularly, and hearing that advice from Glaucoma New Zealand to get that check-up at age of 45 and 5 years, every 5 years thereafter. So that's quite an important part of detection and picking up those early cases.
So take us through it. We have a test, and then unfortunately we do have the news that we do have glaucoma. What is the next stage? What is the next point for that person?
Well, that test will typically involve measuring pressure in the eye, because it's usually elevated, although not always, and measuring the optic nerve head appearance and structure, and measuring the visual field in both eyes, and deciding if that's glaucoma or not. And then the treatment is all about lowering pressure. Often pressure is high to start with, higher than it should be, and we lower pressure. If it's high normal to start with, we lower it to low normal. But all we can do about glaucoma is lower pressure. But it will be a matter of recording all those baseline measurements so we've got some point to monitor from in future to prevent that getting worse. And then starting usually eye drops to lower pressure. We have a good range of eye drops that lower pressure effectively and often will suffice for many years to control pressure. Otherwise there is laser treatment or sometimes surgery also necessary to control the pressure to a sufficient level to stop that ongoing progression of damage.
What is the biggest message you want to get out of this month with glaucoma?
I think the biggest message is that get a proper check-up of your eyes at the time you need your glasses. Don't go and get a simple pair of hobby specs that you can buy off the shelf. Nothing wrong with them in themselves, but you're missing that prime opportunity to have a good check-up. And the Glaucoma New Zealand general advice is that over the age of 45, every 5 years you should have a general eye check by an optometrist is fine, and after the age of 60, every 3 years. If you have family history or one or two other risk factors on top of that, then that might be more frequently that you should have those follow-ups, but by and large, without those and just on a general population basis, that's the advice.
Should we be all savvy and talk to our family members that are
Yes.
that don't make the effort?
And
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful. Thanks, Dr. Simpson. And if you want to find out more, the website is glaucoma.org.nz. Now, in May, we met a lovely, lovely lady, hairdresser Karen Haas. Now, remember, she is raising money and will be shaving her hair off tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at Sutherland Todd Hairdressing in Maryvale. There's auctions, there's raffles, just go along. And there's her Facebook page, facebook.com. You can see it right there. So make sure you go along. We'll see her on Monday. Now, we take a look at Loose Lips episode from tonight. Thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow.
I would like to move the discussion onto image because I think, image is something that's huge for women. There's a photo on the screen just at the moment there of the amount of focus there is on dieting and image and everything else. I mean, that's a pretty good sort of indication of a pretty stock standard sort of a photo.
Yeah.
Did you know that in the UK that they did this study and they worked out that for yo-yo dieters living in the UK, that on average they try 15 weight loss plans over their lives.
Wow.
They spend over $7,000 on gyms, fitness gear and goods. And over the entire life, a whopping $210,000 dollars trying to stay, and often failing to stay in shape.
Wow. And a lot of that stuff just gets stored under the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not sure. I know for sure that I'm not spending $210,000, you know, on it. Next up, we're talking about the perceptions and impossible expectations that the media and society place upon women to be perfect. Little girls, from the word go, are often viewed as delicate and pretty. And we're talking a lot about the language here. But our parents inadvertently sending the message to these girls that they're incapable by placing importance on appearance from an early age rather than on what girls think and what they do. How can we expect girls to believe that they have anything more to offer their world than their beauty?
Who's my pretty girl? Sammy, sweetie, don't get your dress dirty.
Sam, honey, you don't want to mess with that. Let's put him down.
Samantha, this project has gotten out of control.
Whoa, hey, careful with that. Why don't you hand that to your brother?
Our words can have a huge impact. Isn't it time we told her she's pretty brilliant too? Encourage her love of science and technology and inspire her to change the world.
I really like that catchphrase about being pretty brilliant. I think that's really, really important.
So I feel really guilty because I just spent the weekend with my best friend and she's got 6 children, and I spent like a lot of time brushing the girls' hair because I don't have any daughters, and then playing rugby with Franklin because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah. These days, so many images in the media have been perfected with the help of technology, and that an unrealistic ideal of extremely thin and youthful women is represented across all sorts of media. They're all blemish-free, wrinkle-free, even pore-free, which doesn't even exist, but somehow, thanks to the wonders of Photoshop, they make it exist. This method is openly defended. It's openly defended by magazine editors and the media across the world. They think that it should stay. I'm not so sure. So what about then for the 19-year-old daughter or the 12-year-old daughter, then just looking at beauty magazines that are, you know, constantly unattainable figures? I mean, those figures, you could not become like that.
No.
You can't grow your thigh bone like that.
Well, I do say to Neve that, yes, she is an attractive girl, but it's most important that she's attractive on the inside.
Yeah,
and
regardless.
that's the truth of it. And yeah, people pay you a little bit of credence or heed if you are nice on the eye. But if you've got nothing there, there's no substance, if you've got nothing, no opinions, nothing to say, and you're not a very nice person to be around, then you won't have friends.
So it really is beauty from within, as Audrey Hepburn said, isn't it?
Yeah.